Okay, let's check the attendance. Can you say present if your name is being called? Today is March 14. Alimod yan. April. Not around. Almojero.
Present, sir. Present.
Andrada Isabel. Not here. Antoniero. Argente Grace Ann. Baha Francis.
Present, sir.
Batislaong Rodney. Viera. Keith Nicole. Not around. Cañete. Princess Marie. Not here also. Canson Rafael.
Present, sir.
Charisma Rayjon. Kasiple Giselle. Not here also. Culado Christian Paul.
Present, sir.
Dagatantan James. De La Rosa. Deliava.
Present, sir.
Diaz.
Present, sir.
Dimayakan.
Present, sir.
Uhilia Neil. Ledesma Jovin. Magallanes Mary Shane. Molenio David.
Present, sir.
Nasita.
Present.
Naranja. Nava.
Present, sir.
Navarro. Adios. Erica. She's here but she's not saying present. Pañares Mary June.
Present, sir.
Perez Janelle.
Present, sir.
Ponce Edjon. Rizaba Maika. Reyes Jonilyn.
Present, sir.
Ricabal Clarence. Rodrigo Justin. Rosarial Daniel. Saludes Charles. Santibanez Mark Anthony. Sombria Mark. Batman. Soteo. Tanyo. Texon. Chongko. Ubas.
Present, sir. Ubas.
Uy,
Present, sir.
Valdivieso, Vera Cruz, Vicente Villanueva, Villanueva.
Morning, sir. This is the present, sir.
Sige. Isaba is here. Ardiente Ongso.
Sir Vera, Sir Vera,
Viera
sir.
as well. Andrada as well. Sino pa? Ang wala ko nalawag ko din. Cañete as well. Sige. Others are still paying for their tuitions. It's okay. Reyes as well. Okay. Thank you. Sige. Last time I've sent you a video recording of the lecture that we had. And we learned in that video about multicultural multiculturalism, no? When we communicate with other culture, huh? That includes how you communicate with other nationalities or other cultural backgrounds, no? So when we communicate, it is not limited only to our culture as Filipinos, but the moment when we go out into the Philippines, new nationalities, new race, and new culture is uh, is there for us to communicate with new ideas also in new culture. In that way, the things that we know in our culture as Filipinos may sometimes not be valid in the other culture, no? So lain man niya ang aton nga paghangop sa ilang culture when we communicate. So there are sometimes ma-offend sila sa aton nga ways when we communicate, and the same time kita man probably we might be offended in how they communicate, no, because we lack uh, this what we call, I don't know, ng cultural um, diversities when we communicate with other culture. So that's how we understand cultural multicultural context. Also, there are gender bias terms that we need to understand. It's not always that we have to say things nga, nga gender sensitive, no? So we must know those terms so that we will avoid gender biases. So ano ang mga gender biases, yung mga terms nga sometimes ginagamit nato, no? May ara kita ginatawag nga businessman, no? Businesswoman. So usually when we put that into gender neutral, we will say ano, no, business person, no? Or entrepreneur sometimes para ma-avoid natin ang gender sexism and gender biases. What else? Sales lady, salesman. No, to avoid gender biases, we change that into sales representative. So we try to be as neutral as possible to avoid those gender biases. So that's what we mean when we talk about multiculturalism in communication. So this morning, this is part. This is still included in the examination. So this morning we will be talking about evaluation of text and images in multicultural setup. So these are very important because when we evaluate text and images, especially in today's time in 21st century, we are getting a lot of memes in social medias, and there's a must, no, we must check all the details and facts before we comment and believe what is always posted in the social media. So that's our goal for today, to evaluate the text and images in multicultural setup. So I have again prepared a recorded video here for us to understand what is the meaning of evaluation of text and images. So let me present the video. So welcome to lecture video about information. And our topic for today will be focusing on creation of text and images in this very useful in today's time, especially we are in time where people are campaigning. We are in the period of campaign where politicians are trying to give as much information as they can, and it's up to us whether we analyze this text and images that they are going to spread in the internet, in social media, where it is very widespread, including fake news, including false informations. So our goal as evaluators of the text and images in multicultural setup, this is still in the globalization topic. So we have to be vigilant about this one. So let's start with this photo. What can we say about this photo? What can we say about the caption, and does it suit really the caption and the photo itself? No, according to the caption, it talks about Lenny Robredo that does not upper sleeves for anything. No? So it's the caption all about. But when we are going to criticize the photo based on our understanding and our uh, yeah, and our own perception, um, we will be concluding that this picture is also is Lenny Robredo, no? When we try to look at in the facade of the picture itself with no analysis at all. But when in fact this is not Lenny Robredo and the caption itself it's not speak for the picture. This is a false information, and clearly this is nothing has nothing to do with Lenny Robredo's picture, because this is not Lenny Robredo. All this is a doctor from Marikina Hospital, and this was taken by a photojournalist, Nino Orbeta, in March 2 last year. I think this was widespread and became viral last year. So that's the work of evaluation of text and in images in multicultural setup. So when we talk about being cautious and vigilant about the things that we are reading, we are not easily get uh, persuaded by those things posted in social media. First, we have to check if the source is legit, if the information is legit, and the source came from a credible and reliable source. We are not uh, endorsing any candidates here. This is only purely for academic purposes. We are trying to be remain neutral as possible. I'm neutral. So do not take this as campaign for other candidates or uh, giving credit to other people in terms of their campaign. So when we do fact check, again, let's check whether the caption really matters, and is it uh, going with the picture itself. So we cannot deny the similarities in terms of appearance because of race and classes, no. But well, we have to fact check. Another thing that it made the picture viral is that The doctor or Dr. Grana did not roll up her sleeves no during the injection or the vaccination. So they haven't seen the cut in the sleeves no that made the doctor easier for them to inject in her arm no. So that's also became an issue. So that's how you fact check information. Also, when we talk about um, easily persuaded by people, the things that they easily read in the social media. Example here, this became famous also last year because of the issue of China being part of the Philippines, or we are already a part of the China. So we became, according to them, we became the province of China, Philippines. But uh, when you're going to check it in the internet, we are still a sovereign and independent country. We are not part of any province of China at all. So do your fact check. So this is false information also in circulating in the internet. The third one is the danger of one-sided story. This is very common to media and television practitioners who are giving information to the public. Also, this became meme because of person giving a dirty finger. But in fact, this is not a dirty finger at all. This is giving three fingers or a sign or something. No? Momentarily, that it captured one violent photo, perhaps that they can say it. But in fact, now we have to check every angle and every side of the story before we judge the picture or the person. So that's how delicate it is. No, we are only focusing on one-sided story. Now, our work as evaluators and um, person who analyze things now in the 21st century, we are expected to become critical readers and at different text types reflecting different cultures. Texts provide the means for communicating and form an important part to study in any given course. It is important to understand how the features of text affect reading comprehension, particularly in examining similarities and differences of the traditional print-based and multi-modal text. We are having a print-based. When we talk about multimodality, there are a lot of modalities involved. We have print-based, we have audio-visual materials, we have multimedia sources. No? So when we talk about print-based, it refers to the texts that are prepared in prints, but any text is multimodal text when it involves various communication modalities. Hence, multimodal text refers to those types of text that use a combination or more communication modes. For instance, print, image, and spoken text, as in film or computer presentations. In today's time, no, we are living in the advent of digital environment or the internet or social media. Most of informations are unfiltered. That's the reason why we have to be vigilant. Unfiltered, making it uh, authenticity, validity, reliability questionable. So we have to check the author, have to check the background of the author, where the message came from, where the text came from, or where the image came from. Where did it came from? So the abundance of information from various media, namely short message, service, electronic mail, social media, print and electronic journals, periodicals, and advertisements also pose a challenge for you in terms of evaluating and understanding it fully. So even the media can alter the messages, sources. So you have to bear in mind that all of the things that you're reading may not be true. So you always have to do fact check. So that's the beauty of this course. Now we have to analyze things now based on whatever we are reading. So when we talk about multimodal text, again, this is the use of multi modalities or many modalities, not only one, two, but there are various modalities involved. So when the text combines two or more semiotic systems, these are linguistic, visual, audio, gestural, and spatial. Um, it is considered multimodal. No? Later, I will be discussing linguistic, visual, audio, gestural, and spatial. So semiotic is the study of meaning making. It explores signs and symbols as important components of communication. The syllabus of the Australian curriculum mentions that the language modes such as listening and speaking, reading, writing, and viewing and representing are often integrated and interdependent activities used in evaluating texts in order to shape meaning, and that any combination of modes may be involved in responding to any composing print, sound, visual, multimedia text. Hence, multimodal text can be print, digital, or live. Now, for the print media, anything that is printed in the paper or any paper-based instructions, no, or form that is print-based, such as books, comics, posters, magazines, and even the newsprints or the newspapers are considered as multimodal text in paper. So it can be one form. Another form can be into the digital, no, such as infographics, the things that you have seeing online or in social media that has text in it and visuals on it, and can be used in computer-based like slides presentations, can be sent in the emails, ebooks, e-posters, web pages, social medias, animation, film, movies, videos, and many more. Um, anything that is being sent digitally can be in form of multimodal text. And lastly, I think the live form of multimodal text. No? Usually, this live can be in form of recorded or in a stream. No? But usually, live performances or actual performances in the event is hanging up into one particular place where people and there's a camera being pointed at them and being streamed online or worldwide the people to view it on the comforts of their homes. And when we talk about semiotic systems, these are the things that I mentioned a while ago. There are five of them. There are these are very important systems that involves that are involved in the multimodal text or multimodalities. So when we talk about linguistic system, refers to the linguistic components such as vocabulary, structure, grammar of the text. So anything that you can see with the use of the structure of the text, including the spelling, the grammar, the vocabulary use, and how the sentences being structured, for example, in a post in social media, can be in a form of linguistic system. So with the use of this, we can create a conclusion. We can analyze text carefully because it is written. Now, with the help of another visual system, uh, it will be easier for us to imagine things, no? Because it has already a visual help, no? So it pertains to the color, vectors, viewpoint, still images, swing images, no? So that is visual system. It can either be a recorded video, video presentation, infographic video, or still photos or photography. So the things that you're seeing in the social media with the help of the caption, the text, no, is a multimodal text, which we are trying to be critical in terms of reading analysis. So the number three The moment when the visual aids and the moving images is associated with audio. So when they add an audio, automatically it will add into the audio system. So this mode refers to the volume, pitch, and rhythm of music and sound effects of a presentation. Number four is gestural system. It denotes the movement, facial expression, and body language of the characters. So this talks about the movement of the body and smiling of the person, the facial expression in in the camera. So that involves the gestural system. Also, the last part or the last system is spatial. It indicates proximity, distance between the person talking and the person listening. So, for example, in an interview, position of the layout, backdrops, tables and the chairs, the organizations of the objects in space. So that is a spatial system. So those are five multimodal semiotic systems that we use in multimodality text when we are doing a critical reading analysis. So, as a competent communicator, you should be able to evaluate, manage, and use information effectively to enhance your message, to improve your receptive skills, such as listening, reading, viewing skills, and accomplish a specific purpose. So, one best way to evaluate messages and images is through critical reading. I will be giving you some of the qualities of good critical reader, and I want you to check yourselves when you are given these qualities, no? Whether you possess these qualities or not. If not, of course, you have to work it out. So, as one of the categories of reading skills along the rapid reading, viewing, literal reading, and inferential reading, critical reading involves studying and evaluating text closely in terms of their relevance, their validity, and their logic. Now, the goal of the critical reading is to examine not only with what the message is giving you or is conveying, but also how the message is conveyed, as well as the purpose of the message, the target of the audience, the context of the message, and overall, what's the purpose of all of this, no? In other ways of presenting. Essentially, critical reading requires you to be an investigator, break down a text to appreciate and understand it better. When you break down the text, you have to do some analysis on the title, the description, the body, no, the introduction, the main content, and then the evaluation of the task or the conclusion of text. No? That's how you break down the text appropriately, appreciate and understand it better. Now, these are the qualities of a critical reader. Number one, annotates the text by writing or using sticky notes. Another skill that you need to develop is the skill of note taking, no? Or the skill of writing it down, annotates the text, no? So that you can clearly break down the text that you are reading. Determines and analyze the organization patterns. You might be able to compare and contrast the cause and effect, description, narration, definition, or persuasion of the text. Ask critical questions that promotes analysis, synthesis, and evaluation of the text, and considers the cultural and historical background of the text or image. Why do we need to consider the cultural and historical? Because it has already been studied long time ago. It is already an established fact which you can use as a support to your claims. No? So that's the reason why cultural and historical background are important. Distinguishes facts and opinions that might come in handy. Evaluates the author's credibility by checking his or her credentials, academic and scholarly background. So you have to check whether the person is in line on whatever he is saying. If the person is not in line whatever it is saying, for example, the topic, probably that will cost him as an opinionated statement, not a credible statement based on the facts that he is well versed of. So evaluates the source of the text and image, looks beyond the text or ideas that are not explicitly stated, and makes inferences about the text or images and the author's ideas, biases, claims, and views. Also, you are assessing the usefulness and relevance of the text by previewing or reading the titles, tables of content, summaries, abstracts, introductions, conclusions, heading, and subheadings. This is what I mean when you are going to break down those texts. Now, reads with specific question in mind. Always be inquisitive, no, and reads with an open-minded self, no? Mind. Now, here are the general guide questions in evaluating a text. These are tips, no, on how you are going to evaluate a text. And these are the questions that you might counter or you might store into your mind when you are dealing with certain text, when you are evaluating. Now, there are source, context, content, audience, no? And in evaluating a text. For evaluating in image, there are somehow similarities with evaluating the text. Source is still there, context is still there, content is still there, and the audience is still there. However, when we talk about evaluating a image, we can add a visual quality and the appearance also, the image quality. Later, I'll be giving some of the questions that you need to bear in mind. So for the source, in terms of evaluating a text, you have to ask, of course, first and foremost, what is the source? When was the text published? And are the titles or headers, tables, content, summaries, abstracts, introductions, the way you break down the text? Is it useful? Is the source being useful, or is the source relevant, or is the source reliable? So those are the questions that you need to ask when you talk about source. Now, about the context, of course, you have to ask whether what is the context of the text. What pieces of information are given that provide the context of the text? And when we talk about content, what is the message all about? What its purpose, no? What are the facts or figures that supports the message? How is the message conveyed by the text, and what is the text, or what words contribute to frame the message of the text, and how do you think the audience might be affected the way the text is written? And when we talk about the audience, who is the target audience, or what information is provided that give you the idea about the target audience of the text? Now, when we talk about evaluating images, we still have the source. So who is the source of the image? You have to ask that again. No? How did you find the source? Are the pieces of information about the source of the image, and how did you know the source? Is the source information reliable and valid? And when we talk about context, can you determine the information which accompanies the image? Does the information provide the context for the image, or where, when, why, and how for whom the image is, or WH questions? So you might want to ask that. For the content, what are contained in the images? Who are the persons involved, people involved, animals, objects in the image? How are they presented? What's the meaning of those images? What does the image say? Is it clear or not? What are the elements of the image support the image or the message? What feelings does the message, or what do others see the image? So those are the for the audience. Of course, you have to ask what is their target audience. Is it minor? Is it a regular, or for the people, or is it the old ones? No? What information is provided that gives you an idea about it? of the image. And the author, is it credible? What's the purpose of the author? It is giving information, is it giving persuasion or entertainment? And what is the name of the author? Who's the author? Is the author credible? What are his or her credentials? And also to add on, this is the difference between the text and the image. We have the visuals. The visual is very important in the images because you have to think of critically when we are talking about images, no? The visual effect, including the layout, the design, the color, and how are they being used. Is it to give a certain image, as to give a certain name for candidate, for example, no, because the candidates are using color coding schemes, no, so they are helpful in framing messages in the image. So can you identify what is the foreground, the background, what are they, so that's the visual. So for the technical quality, what can you say about the color size of the image? Is it blurry? Is it HD? Is it good quality? Is the size good enough for you to see? Is it Photoshop? Is it altered? Not. So you have to be vigilant in terms of the quality of technicality of the image. What can you say about the quality of the image, or is it copyrighted or not? So always remember, when that is copyrighted, are not going to use it, or you're not allowed to get the copyrighted name on it. You might use it, but you have to ask permission for the person to for the owner of the image. No? That's why there is a watermark on some of the images, no? Because they don't want to use their own image by others. Okay, so this is the last message that I will be giving you to end our topic for the evaluation of text and image. No? So always be critical and be aware as you read, watch, listen, and hear in social media or mass media or in television. Be alert in many forms of biases. So have to fact. All right. I hope everything is clear on the video now. May I know if there are questions from the lecture video that I presented a while ago? Wala questions. Sige, always remember, when we talk about evaluation of text and images, there are always two sides of the story. So not everything that is being posted on the social media are true. So I want you to be very critical when you are evaluating those things that you are seeing on the social media, especially those things that are not credible enough to be published. No, so that's the reason why you need to check the source of the information. No? One example is that when a for example, if you're not a doctor, no, you're not allowed to talk about medical things or medical sciences, no, without um, having a degree in medicine, no. So only those who have a degree in those things, no, are allowed to talk about medications, prescriptions of medicines, no. So that's how you evaluate text and images, no. So I hope everything is clear, and that will be included on the examination as well, no? So for the examination, that will be 30 item examination. We will be having a multiple choice. We also have true or false, and then construction of sentences, or correcting the wrong statement in order for it to become correct. So may muna nga test ay that will fall on test 3 siguro. And then essay part. So I want you to study everything from the first lesson that we have until this one, no? So I hope magtuon ka mo probably later, because I think ma-fall ang aton purposive sa buwas or sa Thursday. I don't know. Wala pa ko ka-check sang schedule. But please do study. Hapos lang ang exam if you listen to uh, the lectures, no? Sang halin sa beginning. No? Sige, may mga question pa?
Sir,
Wala.
may pointers ka ba, sir?
Sige, I'll be making one after this, no? Maybe I'll be sending that later sa hapon para may pointers ka makita. Karon.
Sige, sir. Thank you.
Sige, thank you. Yes, Mike.
Ako, sir, ang sa activity 1, kabala, sir,
Mm-hmm.
alang sira naman sa LMS. Diba,
Okay.
dapat i-download naman to ang PPT to.
Mm-hmm.
Pero wala ko sir activities na nakabutang.
Sige. For your activities, kindly make only the activity 1 and activity 2 or Sitwork 1 and Sitwork 2. You're not expected to answer the quizzes because gin reserve ko to para sa mga special examination tani. So wala to dapat gin-answeran. I forgot to hide it from you. Pero okay lang.
Pero ang suranto naman, sir.
Ang ano lang, ang activity 1 lang kag activity 2. That's all that I need in the prelim.
Okay, sir, sa LMS lang naman isend.
Yes, LMS. Everything is in the LMS na.
Thank you, sir.
Sige, welcome. Sige, if there's no question, can you open your camera so that I can take a screenshot of our class today? How about the others? Alan, Josh, Jonelyn, Janelle,
Sino
David,
ka?
Jane. Okay, sige. The count of three, can you smile sa camera? 1, 2, 3. Okay, thank you very much. God bless exam.
Sir. Thank you, sir.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you, sir.
Yes, sir.